talking with the experts.
Hello everyone, my name's Rose Davidson from doesbiz.com and welcome to Talking with the Experts. And today my guest is Sally Curtis. I don't know about the A, she may tell me what the A stands for later. But Sally is an entrepreneur, speaker and mother based in Adelaide, Australia. She has built a successful business while raising a child and nurturing a family. And you need a sense of humour to do that, and I know Sally has one. Plus, she has learned how to save time and money by leveraging templates and systems. In her words, it's the only way to function when your life is fast-paced. Known as a marketing problem solver and connector, Sally has over 25 years of experience in marketing, business development and sales, having worked with many leading Australian and international speakers and consultants, helping them exponentially, thank you, increase their growth through innovative methods of marketing, strategic networking, and content repurposing. Welcome, Sally. How are you today?
Very well, thank you, Rose. Lovely to be here. And yes, do have a very naughty sense of humour.
Good. It's good. It's what we need in the world these days, especially with what's going on. We all need a sense of humour. Now, you're based in Melbourne, so what's going on there at the moment for you?
Based in Adelaide.
Oh, you're in Adelaide, yes. What's going on there for you? Sorry, I'm in a different time zone.
You are, yeah, that's all right. It gets a bit tricky when you're running things internationally. So things are going well in Adelaide. We've come out, or seem to be coming out of the COVID lockdown, etc. So we're sort of back into face-to-face events, back to connecting and networking and those sorts of things, very slowly and carefully and those sorts of things. So we sort of feel like we're sort of coming out, if that makes sense.
Excellent. Yeah. No, we're still in lockdown, unfortunately. Like, borders are closed to everybody. So, yeah. So tell me a little bit more about your marketing business. What is it that you do?
So predominantly the marketing business that I have is twofold. So I have a coaching element, which is for up and coming speakers and consultants that are looking to define and get their marketing messages and I'm tripping over words today too, marketing mechanisms correct, so their systems and those sorts of things. And then the other side of the business is the agency side of things, where we focus a lot on content repurposing, helping those business owners that have got a substantial business already leverage, so get to their next level of income that they're looking for, or new clientele markets that they're looking for, and those sorts of things. So that's very much around leveraging their resources, which is often their IP or their knowledge or their content, into new and interesting ways, which then helps them save time and have the brain space to perhaps be in creation or in delivery serving customers.
Ah, excellent. And what is a certified influence coach?
Okay, so that's I'm part of Jane Anderson's first few certified influence coaches, and Jane Anderson's a branding and communication expert, and she's certified her way or her methodologies of growing a speaking and a thought leadership practice. So it's a little bit different to a business. We refer to it as a practice because it's built off of our IP and our understanding and our expert knowledge, etc. So there's certain elements that need to come into play to help that practice grow. It's based around content, hence the content repurposing. And I had to go through a certification process and a 12-month, I suppose, portfolio after I'd done Jane's training program to verify and confirm that I was able to deliver and help businesses grow in that manner. So that's what the certification is about. Very efficient.
Okay, so I am a business owner, but for a business owner who is looking to market their business in a better way, and I know you solve the problem, what do they need to come to you with so that you can help them?
That's this is where the sense of humour comes in. So often they come to me. There's two things they're either doing. They're pulling their hair out, going, "I can't get this to work," and that's usually through frustration or fatigue around either content and not knowing what to do with it, or knowing that they've got a lot and just overwhelmed with where do I start, what do I do with it, or their tech skills or their how to get it all to work together is the bit that's pulling their hair out. So they're often either pulling their hair out, or they say, I've got lots of stuff, I need leverage, but I don't know how or where to leverage or what to do. So that all comes, both of those scenarios come from overwhelm, pulling the hair out. I often say we're in the situation where we're herding cats. And sometimes those little beasties are on steroids as well. So we have to sort of really tame them. So it's really working out, what are their cats? What are all the different things in their business that are either moving really well or are stuck or are hiding, and then just getting that to their systems already to currently to work more efficiently, depending on what they've got, and then just being more effective and efficient with their content and what they're needing to do to grow their business. So even though there might be a speaking business or a consulting business, just like any business, it's driven by a personality and an individual that has their own tics and quirks. There's specific ways of doing things. They're in a genius and those types of things. So all of those elements need to still come into play when it works, when we're working based on creating a strategy for them. Because one of my pet peeves is cardboard cutouts. I don't like creating cardboard cutouts. Yes, we'll have a methodology that works. It's a proven methodology that works, but we need to work that formula to the person's individual personality, the way they address their customers and the way they naturally operate their business. Otherwise, through experience of trying to create cardboard cutouts and having tried and been a cardboard cutout myself, is you hit those speed bumps and you can't move forward because you're not working to your natural flow. You're going up against it, so therefore you don't implement, so therefore you don't get consistency. So it's sort of working out those fine-tuned things. So they come to me and go, hey, I need help. And then it's a case of, okay, what help do you need? What have you got to start with that we can work with, and then help them move forward. So it's all about forward movement at the pace that they go and in the manner that they do it.
Okay, so content. What is your advice on a business starting up, especially how to get their content right?
Yep. So get very, 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 very clear on your client, and really get to know your client cluster, whether that's the fit. And I usually say to clients, just backtrack slightly. I say to clients, find your niche, find your typical ideal client now, but let's just find one. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be married to these people forever, but we're just going to find one, and then we'll find the other ones outside of that, because everyone wants more than one. But you need to start and know that one clientele intimately. Know their fears, both their spoken fears, their unknown fears, and their unspoken fears, and also understand what they're desiring in life. So get to know them intimately is the first thing. Also actually use their language, because as experts we all have our own quirky language that means something really specific to us, but we need to be able to communicate that in their language. And then through one of the diagnostic tools I have, which relates into the influence, how influential are people, the most significant area or gap that most businesses have, even some of the experts, is they don't spend enough time educating. So if you know your client intimately and know how to help them, then the idea of being a thought leader or a great consultant that's going to be known for is going to be known for the thing that you do. The key element that's often missing is we don't actually spend enough time educating them. We don't give them tips and ideas to have forward movement without us. So the biggest thing that people can do starting out is educate, educate, educate. And my community are all going, ooh, she's saying educate, educate, educate. Yeah. That's my soapbox moment, educate, educate. Even the hands are going, see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So So what you're saying is like, obviously not selling, not marrying these people, not offering marriage before you've, given them a chance to get to know you.
Exactly.
So date first.
Yeah, absolutely date first, especially in the environment that we're in now, is people, the people that are succeeding and have done really well in the last 4 months are those that went out in full service mode just to help their community, to help people together. I think one of the significant things coming out of the side of this is from a business perspective is collaboration. I know we've experienced that with SA Bouncing Back and the great community that you built through that as well. So it is all about being of service, not in sales mode, giving people tips, ideas, let them discover and have an aha moment because of something that you've shared, because that's what you'll be remembered for.
Okay, so what do you believe are the best or better platforms to be posting your great content on?
The platform where you know your market is.
Right. Okay, that's a pretty good answer. But okay, I'm trying to find out whether Facebook versus LinkedIn is or Google My Business. Those three are competing for dollars and for clients. So I'm not saying that you prefer one over the other. I'm just asking the question that, where do you think, and as you said, where your clients are, but who gives you better bang for your buck, do you think?
This becomes a very, very personal thing. And this also ties into what I said before as to go where you know something. So go with what works for you. So for me personally, it's always been LinkedIn. Because I'm a natural networker, hence the name Connector. So LinkedIn is a business platform and I can utilise the networks of other people's networks and I can operate on that platform just like going to a networking event. So I can talk to people, I can meet people, etc. Now, that's not saying I couldn't do exactly the same thing on Facebook, because I probably can actually do the same strategy if I look at it purely from a strategy perspective. But I find that the conversations on Facebook tend to be a little bit more personal, whereas it's automatically more business orientated on LinkedIn. But people are human, and right now they really are looking for that connection. So again, it's not going out going, hey, I've got an event, hey, I've got an event, hey, I'm selling something, hey, I'm doing a webinar. It's actually having a real human conversation like we're interacting today, like you would over coffee. So Facebook, in my view, has been around longer. People are used to spending money on it. So the way to be seen and heard on Facebook often is through advertising, which is costly at the moment to get to the audience because there's so much competitive noise out there. Whereas LinkedIn at this stage doesn't have a lot of that. It's the sort of Facebook that it was sort of, 8 or 10 years ago. The opportunity is there right now. But it really just boils down to having what I'm going to call really real authentic conversations, not coming with a predetermined agenda. There's always a strategy, and yes, everybody's always selling something. That's why we're in business.
Yeah.
But it doesn't start with that. It starts with a proper conversation, just like you would at a networking event, when you're not playing the business card ninja networking event scenarios. Deep conversations, real stuff.
Yeah. So tell me what the A stands for and why do you use it in your name?
Okay. So the A is Anne. So my first name is actually Sally Ann. But when I was, I think it must actually, this was relating to LinkedIn, when I was rebranding and re-evolving, as I have done many, many times, I found that there was more than 25 different Sally Curtises on LinkedIn. So yeah, I went, okay, right. Well, we'll just have to put the A in there, and by putting the A in there, that reduced the numbers. So it was a thought at the time, but a very strategic now. I'll say
absolutely
naming thing, marketing thing, but it was just because there were so many that were Sally Ann. It's a common name.
Well, there you go. No, I didn't know that, but now I do. And yeah, it's very branded it really well, and the color red is like your favorite, and you stand out a lot.
Yes,
And
definitely.
I love it. Now,
Yeah.
branding. So if you're bringing brand awareness to your business, how would you advise people go about doing that? Like branding themselves, branding their business.
Okay. You've just. I'll add to where you've started, which was around the red and the naming and my aim. So everyone, for as long as I can remember, and I purposely didn't wear a red jacket today, have always known me to have and wear red jackets, to the point that if I go to an event and I don't have a red jacket on, people don't see me. They're getting a bit used to me being sort of in stealth mode now. So from a branding perspective, if you naturally gravitate to a colour, in my case it was red, and everybody will naturally gravitate to a colour, then if that's seen as the essence of you, then go with that flow. So when I'm working with clients and we're looking at brands, yes, we need to look at colours and those sorts of things that relate to their audience. But if you naturally wear red and you don't like pink or you don't like orange, then don't bring it into your branding, because there'll always be an energetic or inconsistent mismatch there. So I'll always look to, where do you as the individual feel most comfortable? One of my male clients wore denim jeans, black or white t-shirts, but would always wear a flash of a really crisp, sort of bright blue, but slightly leaning towards a navy bright blue, if that makes sense. So, and then every now and then he'd have a splash of, not gold, but he'd have a splash of a tanny colour on. So when he was going, I don't have a logo, I don't have these sorts of things, I actually looked at his, cyber-stalked him, looked at his photos on his social media profiles that weren't branded, to see what he was consistently in. And then ask the question, when you're at the front of the room and you're delivering, what do you wear? What's your favourite suit? What's your favourite shirt? And through knowing that, I was then able to work out a colour palette. And the best place to work out colour palettes is good old Dulux website. And then just mixing and matching the colours to say, hey, I think, here's a couple of variations of the colours that I see you in, with a splash cut, we call a splash colour, something to add a bit of interest, which was that goldy sort of tan colour. And that was where we started his colours and his branding.
Oh, because I'm just looking at rebranding my business. So I think it's about time, because I've changed direction again. So it's so I think what my name is not quite what it is that I'm doing. So we might have to have a conversation.
And have a look to the colours that you feel really great about, that uplift you, because it's all about the essence that people see you. They'll see you in a certain essence, and if that colour's not right, if it's not a rose colour, they'll go, something's not right. But they won't know.
Right. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about, I guess, where do you speak? What do you speak? Oh, obviously you speak on marketing and so forth, but where do you speak? And who do you speak to?
Okay, so two areas that I tend to speak in most, and you're going to laugh. The one thing I've been trying to put to bed for the last 10 years has been my networking for leaders. So as I've grown, I suppose that topic and content has grown. It's still going. I remember talking to a girlfriend of mine who's a great entrepreneur, and she said, Sally, the money's where the boring is. Oh, really? Do you mean I'm going to have to keep talking about this? But the reason I get asked so often to talk around the networking element of the marketing, and networking, if you go back to LinkedIn and how to networks and how to grow your business and stand out in the right crowds and all those sorts of things, all is done through great ways of networking. So I talk a lot on how to build your business around networking, which can then tie into how to utilize LinkedIn and those sorts of things. So I do that most often for the university startup hubs, entrepreneur groups, etc., and sales organisations and that type of thing. Then if I'm talking on marketing and humanised marketing, it's the second topic. I'm then often talking to digital agencies or digital schools that have got their students in there, and they want to, their key thing that they want to know is, well, how will I serve my customers? How can I add value to my customers coming out as a digital marketer, or that type of thing. So it's around how to keep it simple and effective as it relates to their audience. So those two topics. Networking for leaders, and then humanised marketing.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That's a great thing. And, well, I don't know. What else? Tell me about this. It's the only way to function when your life is fast-paced.
Oh, dear God. So, as you would have experienced when we were doing the collaboration with SA Bouncing Back,
Yes.
some of the guys that know me there refer to me as being bossy.
Yes.
Where that comes from. So I have always been fast-paced. Now that starts because I like moving fast. So I like fast cars, I like fast horses, I just like going fast. So and I remember when Rory was little, I would be going down the hallway going, come on, hurry up, chasing him along. So I do move very, very quickly. The biggest lesson for me in the last few years is not everybody moves as quickly as I do. So that's why I mentioned that, you know, when working with clients, I've got to work out where their pace is and where their cadence is, because, you know, not everybody wants to get it done in 2 hours. Some want to take 24 and some want to take 2 weeks. That's fine. So it's understanding everyone's pace. So I do move quickly. I am very efficient. I worked, but I also at the same time, I say lazy, but I'm probably strategic because I just like to be where the fun is. I like to be where the people are. I'm curious. I want to discover more. So if you're moving too quickly and you're in productivity mode too often, then you miss out on stuff. You miss out on the discoveries. You miss out on the deep and meaningful conversations. So I worked out that I could maintain that speed and that consistency if I systemized and templated stuff. So I spent a lot of time, I actually stopped, and that's what I often say to clients when we're talking about herding cats. Okay, stop, stand still, because the more you move, the more they're going to run. So sometimes you've just got to stop. And that stopping was, okay, what works for me? What systems do I need? What do I need to template in those systems to make them more effective for me? And then I spent time doing that. The beauty of being able to do that was then I worked out that, oh, I've actually just systemized that. That means I can actually replace myself. So that was how I was able to bring team members on to do different things. And now I teach the team members, okay, well, if you're going to do something new, let's create an instruction sheet and a template and systemize it, because then we can replace you. So that's how, for me, I fell into the outsourcing arena and building a team, but I also realized that I could scale faster. So it all came back to faster.
Yeah.
If I had robust systems. Now, they're not complicated, but they are step by step that are repeatable, that just makes things easier to do. So yes, faster, but it's also easier, which then means I don't have to do it.
Yeah, it's just, I guess another name would be a standard operating procedure. It's pretty much the same thing, yeah.
But that would have scared me, because I wouldn't have used that word.
No. Yeah, I used to go and do that when I was a temp, you know. I'd start an SOP because it wasn't written down anywhere. So, you know, I'd go step by step by step, and then they'd have this great document. But they didn't appreciate that because, you know, it's just not done. But anyway, we won't go down that track. So what have you got coming up, Sally?
I've got lots of stuff coming up. I always say I've got up to lots of mischief. So the biggest thing for me at the moment is growing the agency side of things, so helping more people with the repurposing. As mentioned, we also have just started a radio show as well, called Success Secrets Exposed, and that's really just designed to help people have forward movement. Got lots of guests like yourself and the other people that we've worked with coming on to share their various stories and their tips with the whole I suppose scenario of giving people the opportunity to listen, to be inspired, and to have an aha moment and to create their own forward movement.
Oh, well done.
I get exciting. Yes.
Yeah, I read about it not long ago. I'm looking forward to hearing. When's your first episode?
So first episode was last Friday, and then so it's every Friday, each Friday in Australia and Thursday in the US.
God, in the US as well. Oh, that's amazing.
So it's global. So predominantly US. 70% of the audience is in the US, and the rest is sort of Australia, Europe, etc. So
well done. Congratulations. That's amazing. And other than that, what are you doing?
That's been the biggest thing, and I just was going to share because I've just had my own aha moment. That about 20 years ago, I dreamed of being a connector and having a global connecting party, and I'd be a jet setter because, you know, in your 20s you're always going to be a jet setter, and you like fast jets. So for me, that's I've realised that that's actually the opportunity to actually create and connect people in the manner that I initially did. So sorry, I just had that aha moment just then.
Write it down so you don't forget.
Yep. got my little notes in front of me. So for me, yeah, the future is always changing, and I think that's been one of the big things I say to people, particularly from a marketing aspect, when they get excited about they've first got their websites up. It's like, yeah, I've got my website up. It's sort of like, yeah, that's great, but you know, we evolve all the time. Your website, in fact, your marketing's never done. We're always evolving. So as we grow, all of our marketing collateral and those sorts of things tend to grow and need changing. So for me, it's always changing. It's always on the move. For me, the focus this year is really around that, helping people leverage and repurpose their content, helping build the team to support that, and lots of collaborative relationships and partnerships, and just helping more people do more things in their impactful way, but just bring them out in different ways. Yeah. Like yourself with this, the video that we're doing today, and the podcast that you'll create this into with the radio show. It's all the opportunities are out there. We just got to create them, and I really think that it's around building aligned communities and collaboration. So that's a little bit of a deep, meaningful soapbox moment for me, but that's where I sort of see it going. Is just helping people navigate, bring more stuff to their community.
Absolutely, yeah, because with everyone being locked away, or, you know, I really do think once we get out of being in lockdown, the new normal will be more internet collaboration rather than in person. I think people are so used to it now. It saves time, it saves money. You know, you don't have to hire a hall, you don't have to, you know, hire some great venue or cater or do whatever. I think it's a great way for people to collaborate, network even. You know, it's the way to move forward.
Yeah, very much so. And I'm seeing that within the professional speaking community, is that we'll all see more of that hybrid, where the business model will have, instead of it all being face-to-face, all in front of the room delivery, it'll be that combination of yes, face-to-face delivery, but it'll be a lot more of that online. There'll be that nice blend. With myself, for example, I used to run face-to-face events every month. I won't do that this time round as we come out. I'll do more of the education elements online, because it's easier for more people to tap in more
it is.
on that locally, but have the connection dinners and have the real, you know, the where you're meeting up and you're getting into the deeper, meaningful conversations, where you facilitate that better over food, because food sort of deepens that connection. We'll do more of that sort of thing differently, I think.
Beautiful. All right. Yeah. So, you have any last wise words?
Yep. What last wise words, and I'm going to take your tip on this about when you said to me about writing that down. If we go back to the herding cat scenarios as it relates to content, I'll overlay ideas over that. Those ideas for content creation or business growth or just things that you need to remember, they jump in and out as quickly as cats move when they've been squirted with water. So you need to be able to capture. So my biggest lesson would be try to capture anything and everything, those little epiphany moments, those ideas, whether it's writing it down on a post-it note and sticking it on a glass window, or whether it's recording it when you're in the car. Just capture the cat ideas or the moments or the inspiration that you get, because as much as you go, oh, I've got to remember that, I've got to remember that, you've got to remember that, as soon as you pick up the pencil, if you're like me, you forget it unless you capture it just as it lands. So capture stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I've had an aha moment on the car, and I think, I'll remember that when I get home, and I get home and get sidetracked with something else and it's gone. Can't think of it. Anyway, Sally, thank you so much for joining me today. I've really, really enjoyed it very much, and I've even learned something, so there you go.
Oh, there you go. That's always a good thing. Thank you very, very much. It's muchly appreciated.
And you've been talking with the experts with Sally A. Curtis today, and thank you for joining me. Bye for now.
Bye.